Well, alrighty, fellas, today update 13.6 is going live. Some highlights of the update is that we are getting a new line of French destroyers. The Star Trek crossover event is actually happening this time, and we're getting a new mode to test out during this event, along with some other content and such. So, we're going to go ahead and go through the update and hit the highlights and talk about what you need to know to get the most out of the update. You can get a free day of premium time by just checking out the update article. A link to it is in the description down below if you wish to check out the update in more detail than what we'll go over here. Again, we're just going to hit the highlights to talk about what you need to know. So let's go ahead and get right on into it. So, of course, one of the bigger parts of the update is that we are getting a new line of French destroyers in early access. And they say Update 13.6 offers early access to a new line of French destroyers. Welcome, Lordy, Ladro, Ducafult, La Hardy, La Venturi, Orage, and Cassard. The new French destroyers operate best in close-range combat, and starting from La Hardy, they are armed with very powerful torpedoes that can travel fast and far. Starting with La Hardy's researchable torpedoes, continuing with both the stock and researchable types at Tier 8 and higher. The new destroyer's torpedoes inflict variable damage based on the distance they travel. That's interesting. They're most effective at close range and lose destructive power the longer they travel. On the other hand, you can also rely on these long-range torpedoes if you prefer a safer approach in battle. The destroyer's main battery guns deal moderate damage per minute and don't have the best ballistics, but the emergency engine power consumable with its short duration but high speed output will help you close the distance to your opponents quickly. Special saturation mechanics shared with their sister Tech Tree French destroyers may also help you survive close encounters. They cause these new ships to take only half damage in their middle section after a certain damage threshold is met. So they still have the good old French DD damage saturation. We're also adding some sweet new content for the early access event to celebrate the new warships arriving in our virtual seas. The Liglisseur permanent camouflage for La Hardy, the Esprit de France permanent camouflage for Orage, the Uniforme Franche permanent camouflage for Cassard, French historical commander André Lamonnier, and the Fleur de Lis flag. I'm sure I butchered maybe half of that, but that's what those guys look like here in those camos as well. The camos look pretty nice. I like the Orage's camo, nice and clean. Ooh, the Cassard's camo is actually, in fact, better, in my opinion. Alright, so, of course, they are in an early access event. My recommendation, as always, with these early access events is get what you can get for free, and then you can completely grind these ships for free in 2 updates. So get what you can get for free, and then after that, just wait a couple of updates. All right. So speaking of the French destroyers, you can acquire some of them in the event pass. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. We prepared a new thematic event pass dedicated to French destroyers in early access. In the first progression line, you can find the Ladro, the French Riviera and Revolutionary permanent camouflages, and the Liglisseur permanent camouflage for La Hardy as a final reward. Completing each level will bring you 1 more signal flags container. Alright, so you can get the Tier 5 in the first event pass. And the second progression line, which is the paid line, you can get the Sirocco immediately just by getting the line. I'm sorry, buying the progress line. Progressing through the line will bring you a bonus package for La Hardy, French Navy permanent camouflages for Sirocco, and Mogador and La Hardy herself as a final reward. Completing extra levels will bring you French tokens. So you get the French Navy permanent camo for Sirocco and Mogador, and then you get the Tier 7, the La Hardy, as a final reward for the event pass, and the bonus package for La Hardy. Okay, so you get the Tier 7 through the paid event pass, and again, I'm sure the other ships are in a similar fashion as to previous early access events. I haven't played the French destroyers. They do sound pretty interesting. They're more torpedo focused from what I've seen. The variable damage torpedoes are pretty interesting. It seems to be a nice way to incentivize close range gameplay and torpedo rushing. So we'll see what happens. I'll see if I can get my hands on some of these ships in early access. Alright, the other big part of this update is that we are getting a new mode to test out with Mode Shuffle. We discussed this a little while ago on the channel. It's on standalone video, and it's coming out with this update starting again on July 10th and going through August 7th. So they say Update 13.6 brings a new temporary battle type, Mode Shuffle, that will randomly place you in one of 3 familiar game modes. Focus on close quarters encounters, airship escort, convoy, or arms race. So it's 12v12, tier 8 to 10 ships, all ship types. You can div up to 3 players. There are restrictions though. There's only 1 aircraft carrier. You can get up to 6 battleships, up to 7 cruisers, up to 4 destroyers, and up to 2 subs. They say while convoy and airship escort are the most recent versions of those game modes, we've made a slight change to arms race. No bus will appear near the map borders. The bus will pop up somewhere in the middle part of the map, so you need to get up close and personal to buff yourself and your team. The changes for arms race are only present in Mode Shuffle, and this mode will be unaltered in other battle types. So again, I do like the idea of having a separate random battles, essentially with modes that are more geared to close quarters combat. That way, those of us that want to play in close and use our secondaries and get up close and personal with other ships can do so, and everyone else that wants to camp and stuff can go play the other random battles, right? But, of course, as we've seen in the past in these close quarters combat modes, there's always players that sit in the back and camp and try to snipe. I mean, with brawls right now, of course, how many, well, maybe not right now because it's 1v1, but when it's, the 2v2 or the 3v3 brawls, how often do you always get that goober that likes to sit in the back and camp in brawls, right? The mode that the whole name is Brawl, right? So I do like the idea. I'm just not sure if it's going to be utilized properly, shall we say. Because again, we've had airship escort, we've had convoys be a standalone temporary game mode before, and what happens? You get someone that takes a sniper ship into the game and they sit in the back and they snipe the entire time. Now, do these long range ships have a place in these modes? Absolutely they do. I've seen them put in work plenty of times in these modes, but you can't sit in the back and snipe. You have to play more from a mid-ish range, which, I mean, mid-range by the standards of these modes is still pretty far away, because again, most of these modes you're within a few kilometers of the other team's ships. So they do have their place and they can work, just like how these close quarters, the GKs and Preussens and Schlieffens that do fantastic in these close range modes can do great in the standard random battles modes that we get in the meta that they have to deal with. They've been having to deal with them for years, and they can still do fine once you learn how to adapt to it. But I guess it's, I don't know, too difficult for the sniping ships to adapt to a more mid to close range game mode. But anyway, I like the idea. I'll be interested to see how it does play out in this round of testing. All right, the Armory. We're getting quite a few things in the Armory this update. So, interestingly enough, the ladies that were available in the summer sale event are now being added to the Armory for a normal amount of doubloons. So, well, let me just read the paragraph for y'all. They say at the start of Update 13.6, all Commander Dasha Perova variants will be removed from the Armory, but 2 commanders with individual voiceovers are ready to take their place at the helms of your ships. Pan American Commander Frederica Estivala can be purchased for 15,000 coal, and Spanish Commander Martina Verano can be purchased in the Army for 1,500 doubloons. Both come with 10 skill points. So, turns out they did wind up in the game for the costs that they were originally supposed to be. If you remember back when they were announced, they were stated that one was going to be available for coal, one was going to be available for doubloons, and I think one was supposed to be in one of the battle passes, but that didn't happen, and they showed up in the Armory for the summer sale event, but now they're going to be in the Armory for coal and 1,500 doubloons. So yeah, so if you missed out on those ladies, you can pick them up in the Armory now, starting today, for 15,000 coal for the Spanish one and 1,500 doubloons for the Pan-American one. Okay. I'm sorry, the Spanish commander is 1,500 doubloons. The Pan-American commander is the 15,000 coal. My bad. All right, and of course, an crossover we've all been waiting for, or me especially, is the Star Trek event. This was supposed to go live in this update, but apparently there was an issue, a technical issue, and it was pushed back to, well, I say this update as in 13.5, but it was pushed back to 13.6, today for technical reasons. I'm assuming probably an issue with the camos. If you look at the event camos They do greatly change the geometry of the ships, so that could have been an issue. It could have been an issue with one of the voiceovers. We don't know. But for whatever reason, it's starting today. At least the day of recording, it's set to start on the 10th, which is tomorrow. Today for those of you guys watching. So, they say World Warships is constantly working to push the boundaries and bring exciting new content to our illustrious captains. But this time we have something truly out of this world for you. We're excited to announce that World Warships is hosting a collaboration with Star Trek, the beloved franchise that has spanned many generations. We're keen to tell you about it, but you have to wait a bit for everything to be transported to our world. Prepare yourselves, load up on photon torpedoes, check the battery levels on your tricorders, and chart a course for strange new victories. I was going to say strange new worlds because that's the thing, but I see what you did there. Wargaming. It's really funny that they say that the Star Trek collaboration info is going to be in a separate article, but like it starts tomorrow, so yeah, that article should have been out by now. I'm assuming it's probably going to go live when the event goes live. Well, again, tomorrow. Today for those of you watching. Will we get the Enterprise? I hope so, because it doesn't make sense to sell a perma camo for the Enterprise when, you know, it hasn't been for sale for like 5 years and not a whole lot of players exactly have one. So I would expect it's probably going to be in like whatever container they put up for the Star Trek event. Maybe they'll sell it outright in some type of mega bundle for $200 or $300. People will buy it anyway. But again, I just don't see how it makes sense that you can sell a skin for Enterprise when, again, the ship herself hasn't been available for half a decade in the game. But who knows? We'll see what happens. On top of that as well, we're also getting the Arpeggio event is making the rounds again. That starts on July 17th. And then the Transformers collaboration is showing back up again on July 31st. So we got 3 collabs this time. I think that's one shy of last time when they spammed us with, what was it, the Megadeth, the Heroes of Might and Magic. Well, we were supposed to get the Star Trek event last time too, but they pushed that back to this one. So it's 3 this time, 3 that time. So a little less spammy, I guess. So that is it for the highlights of the update, fellas. Again, as far as the French Destroyer Early Access event goes, get what you can get for free. Test the ships out. Again, these are going to be completely free Techline ships in 2 updates, so no need to rush out and throw your money at the game to, pay out the wazoo for Techline ships. Star Trek event, I am very eager to see what that is going to entail and all, and I'm very, very excited for Mode Shuffle, and I can't wait to see how that goes. I will certainly be playing a lot of it because I do like my close quarters combat. I do like my airship escort. I was very upsetty spaghetti when it was removed from the base game, and I can't wait to get back in and enjoy it. So guys, let me know what you guys are looking forward to in this update, and if you did enjoy the video, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, all that jazz. Subscribe to the channel. We are on our way to 60,000 subscribers, and we are getting very close to that goal. We will be doing a giveaway when we get there, so make sure you stick around for that. Hope you guys have a wonderful Wednesday, wonderful rest of your week. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.